Denmark as a country is absolutely brilliant to move to, but the best part is it isn't as hyped up as the UK, Australia, New Zealand or Canada. So that means two things if you're looking to move to Denmark. The first is you'll be competing with fewer people, which means your chances are then definitely higher. The second is that the process won't be as complicated as other countries. And that sounds like a winning combination to me. Now, that being said, how do you even further increase your chances of landing a job in Denmark? Because there is a way, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. I'm Ashika, and on this channel, we talk about moving to the UK, Germany, Netherlands, and today, Denmark. Without wasting any time, let's dive in. Let's deal with the basics. Do you even need a visa to work in Denmark? If you belong to the Nordic countries, you don't need any form of residence permit. You simply enter the country and work. But if you belong to the EU or the EEA, you don't really need a residence permit. You can move to Denmark and work there, but you will have to follow some of the rules set out by City, which is the Danish immigration agency. But if you're from any other country, you will have to apply for a work visa. Now, broadly, these are the kind of visas that are available in Denmark. There's the fast track scheme for individuals who have an offer from a company certified by Siri. There's the pay limit scheme designed for high income individuals who earn at least $68,454 per year. There's the positive list for individuals who have a job offer for professions experiencing a shortage of qualified professionals in Denmark. Then there's the researcher and guest researcher visa for individuals offered a job as a researcher at a public or private institution. There's the employed PhD visa for those who are offered jobs as PhDs in a study program linked to a Danish education institution. There's the herdsmen and farm managers for individuals with a job as a herdsman or a farm manager in agriculture. And then there's the special individuals qualifications for those offered a job in Denmark that only they are qualified to do. For example, artists, athletes, or chefs, and a lot more. And of course, there are a lot more visas that are based specifically on certain scenarios. And today we're talking about one visa in particular that can exponentially increase your chances of landing sponsorship in Denmark, which is the positive list visa. The positive list for skilled work is a list of professions which are actually facing a shortage when it comes to skilled professionals in Denmark. So basically, if there is a shortage of regional or national skilled professionals for this particular job title, this job title ends up on this list, and it would continue to be there for at least 2 years. Now, the good thing is, since you don't know when these jobs were posted in the first place, when these titles appeared on this list, the website, which is actually managed by the government, actually mentions the date till which this job is going to be on this positive list. So it gives you a good idea of how long you can keep trying for roles under that category. So most of the jobs I'm going to show you today are going to continue to be there till 2025, which gives you a good 2-year period to keep trying for jobs under that category and fall under the positive list. Now, under the positive list, you have two options. The first is the positive list for people with a higher education, and the second is the positive list for skilled work. The positive list for people with a higher education is for those who have received a higher education and who have been offered a job in Denmark, which falls under the list of jobs that are experiencing a shortage of highly educated labor. The second is where you are a skilled worker and the job that you're offered is on the list of professions experiencing a shortage of skilled labor. Now, something for you to keep in mind is that these lists are updated twice a year, once on the 1st of Jan and the second is on the 1st of July, which means we've just gotten an updated list. Now, the advantage of this list is that employers or recruiters who are in Denmark don't need to prove that there were no candidates that were fitting for these roles in Denmark, and so they're hiring from outside. So that means your process is going to be quicker and shorter because of this. Now, depending on which of the two buckets you fall under, the job titles differ. And I'm going to tell you what those job titles are in just a bit, but before we get there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Now, if you fall under the category of higher education, there are 30 jobs on this list. Some of the jobs include chemists, civil engineers, medical doctors, nurses, midwives, dietary workers, occupational therapists, primary school teachers, social education workers, auditors, IT consultants, architects, and IT engineers, economists, social workers, and pharmacy technicians, among all the others. Now, the list is different for skilled workers. So if you fall under the skilled worker category, there are 36 jobs that have these titles. And they include plumbers, sales and account managers, sous chefs in the kitchen, bookkeepers and accounting clerks, hairdressers, chefs, carpenters, plumbers, mechanic and passenger cars and vans, electricians, bakers, and even cabinet makers. Now, in order to be eligible for this visa, you will have to keep a couple of things in mind. First and foremost, very obviously, the job that you are doing should be on the positive list. Secondly, the salary and the terms of your employment should not be inferior to those that already exist in Denmark for those particular roles. The third thing, your employer must be covered by Platz AUB. I hope I'm saying that right. The fourth thing is your salary must be paid into a Danish bank account that is operating in Denmark. Now keep in mind that the entire process will take you at least a month, and it's going to cost you $686 to actually apply for this visa. And the good part is you can actually apply online. Something else you should know is that for permanent contracts where dates are not mentioned, the visa will be issued for 4 years. And if you're still with the same employer in the same job, you can renew your visa after those 4 years. And you can take your dependents along with you. You're obviously also going to want to know where you can actually look for jobs that offer sponsorship in Denmark. And the good news is there are quite a few good websites. There's typically Work in Denmark, there's Job Index, LinkedIn, my personal favorite Indeed, there's EU Careers, Jobs in Copenhagen, and The Local. And the good thing is I'll leave links to all of these in the description below. Now remember, if you're looking to move from whichever country you are in and move to another country, it's always ideal if you're looking at a couple of countries versus just one country, because like you know, it's not always the easiest to end up with a visa to get a sponsored job. And to be very honest, if you are looking at Denmark, I would also highly recommend you look at the Netherlands, which is again another great place that you can move to. Now if you'd like to know more about moving to the Netherlands, watch this.